welcome to another edition of the Bass Report. I'm Brian Bass reporting live here for the 2021 Blue Note Jazz Festival and grand reopening ceremonies here in New York City. Blessing the band stage tonight is Grammy-Award winning trumpeter, vocalist, composer, as well as producer Keyon Harrold. As you might know, last year, towards the end of the year, he and his son made the world news because of the incident that took place at a hotel here in New York City. A young lady accused Keyon Harrold Jr. of stealing his cell phone as well as attacked him on camera. Currently right now, the young lady is trying on 3 charges, and right now he's being represented by one of the most important, if not prolific, civil rights attorneys, Benjamin Crump. Tonight, he's playing the Blue Note for the first time since the pandemic has been lifted here in New York City. He's playing with his band. He's playing music from his upcoming record, Melancholy Aura. Now, tonight, I had a chance to sit down and talk to him about rehashing some of the incidents that happened last December, how his son is doing, as well as talk about his creativity and some of the things that he has on his plate right now. Also, we sit down and reflect on his band, which he's had for the last 4 years. So sit back, relax, enjoy highlights. Mr. Keyon Harrold, live here on the Bass Report, reporting from Blue Note Jazz Club. It's part of the 2021 Blue Note Jazz Festival and the grand reopening festivities here in New York City. You know, we was catching up just a second ago, man. I mean, I'm so glad that New York is trying to come back. I'm so glad that you're out here playing again, man. How do you feel? This is the first in a while.
Man, it's so great to be back here at the Blue Note, to feel the vibe, to feel the energy. Ain't nothing like it. I mean, it's the greatest jazz club, you know, on earth, for real, in New York City. But to just come in and this be like the first performance back with the band. We get the opportunity to play for a couple days, so we feeling this every night. This is day 2. We got 2 more nights that we just warming up and just really getting back to what it was before, or something different. Because I feel like people are even more excited to just be here. The energy is at an all-time high, and I'm eating it up, straight up.
You know, the last time we were together, it was January. We was outside in the cold. You, Attorney Crump.
Yeah.
I'm liking musically what you're setting forward for. I mean, Melancholy Aura is the upcoming record, and a lot has happened in these last 15 months, man. And stuff is still progressing too.
Yeah.
Tell me about this new project coming out, and tell me mentally and spiritually and composition-wise where you at right now.
You know, the album is coming, you know. I don't know the exact date yet, but it's coming soon this year. And it is, you know, it is the kind of testimony to what I've been through. The idea of being up, the idea of being down, the idea of just trying to be steady. As things come at us, you know, you just never know what's gonna happen. We just have to be that ship to steer our life, because we have other people counting on us to just be solid. So this album, Melancholy Aura, talks about it. It talks about love and broken love. It talks about crazy, you know, situations happening to our loved ones, and you know. And how do we respond to that? We try to hit it back with good vibrations, and that's what Melancholy Aura is. It's not necessarily about all the quick, you know, lines and, you know, bebop and stuff like that. It's about feeling, and just wherever the music takes you, wherever the vibe takes you. That's the lane that this album is.
Keyon, the last 15 months, what's inspired you to write? Have you been reading? Have you been listening to a lot of music? What's been your aura of news right now?
Man, my food for thought has been reading, and it's also just watching life progress, watching things happen to me and my family, watching how those things get what's the word? Watching how those things get watching how things work. You never really expect certain things to happen. You don't expect people to die. You don't expect people to be, you know, hurt. Nobody expects tragedy, even though you know it will be. You know, it's inevitable, but nobody really expects it. Nobody can really be ready for it. And you know how we deal with that is the way we, you know, are made. That's the way our character is built. So, you know, over the last 15 months, it's been a huge step in building my character and building the character of my family. You know, the incident that happened in New York City was life-changing for me.
I mean, the world knows about this now.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is that this is the one thing I've noticed in these last 15 months. Everybody's on blast now. Whatever you do now, whether you take a leak in the restroom, whether you go pick your nose, I'm giving some crazy examples.
Right.
You on blast right now.
So,
and that incident between you and your son, it's so wild that you got so much love and adoration because you experienced something that should never have happened. And it's crazy that we're still living in 2021 and people of color always are preconceived. We have this prejudice against us.
Right. You're presumed guilty.
Right.
Just by your skin color. You know.
I'm gonna ask you, your son, and you played beautiful song that you wrote for your son at the end of the set. How have you as a father been able to have these talks? Because like my dad and I had these talks when I was younger, and it's like now, it seems like now you gotta have these talks like every other day now.
Yeah, every day. I mean, he's right now in a place to where people are walking up to him and they know him. He doesn't know them. They know him for, you know, what he's going through. And they know him because of, you know, who his father is. So I have to talk to him and prepare him every day about, you know, how people are perceiving you, and how you should go through life and how you should, you know, interact with different people. It's an everyday learning process. When this stuff happened at the Arlo Hotel, we weren't prepared for it. I mean, he knows about race, he knows about different things, but now he's in a position to where he's been able to, you know, really deal with it and learn how to be an advocate and learn how to be a spokesperson and learn how to be, you know, somebody who could help somebody else and teach somebody else because he has experience, you know. So he's, you know, he's a resilient kid, you know, who's working through trauma.
And the sad thing that I watched the video, it seemed like the Arlo was very responsible for perpetuating this. It got worse than what it could have been.
It should have been ended. They should have dealt with that. They should have dealt with her right away. My son shouldn't have been attacked. We shouldn't even have to go through that.
Right.
Even before we came downstairs, they should have dealt with it. She was already a menace before we even got there, but when we got there, it just went to a whole nother astronomical level. But the manager at the time, his training, his, you know, his prejudice, his I don't want to say prejudice, his bias toward what he doesn't know, what he doesn't understand in the context of black people, young black, my son, a young black man. He looked at him and the thought was maybe he could have stolen her phone. He didn't think that maybe this person could be, you know.
She wasn't even a resident of the hotel.
No, she wasn't even a guest at the hotel. You know, and she was, you know, harassing everybody, well, people at the hotel. So.
You know, I have to ask you about playing now. You're leading the band, and you've played with everybody, and everyone. You're still recording. I saw something you posted with Common. Keyon, at this part of your career, what are some of the ideas musically that you want to work on moving forward as a leader?
Man, first of all, I'm so in love with music. I mean, going back to what you asked about the pandemic, you know, I've been writing a lot, all kind of different things, you know, working on a couple film scores with other people and myself, so I'm super excited about that. I'm doing, you know, bigger scale works. I just did something in collaboration with Dorn's Dance Company with an amazing tap dancer extraordinaire, Josette Wiggin. I did the music and she choreographed the show for like 15 tap dancers, and we premiered it last week. And it's called, you know, Praise the Inevitable Fruit of Gratitude. And it's just one of them things, again, going through the pandemic, you know, we need hope, we need good vibrations, and that was, you know, a beautiful exaltation to what we need as a people coming out of dark time. We need the light. So, you know, musically, I'm trying to, you know, play things that are, you know, giving light, giving good, I don't know, giving good energy, you know. So that's what I'm working on, and all of the music that I'm doing, whether it be on the stage or whether I'm writing, you know, I'm trying to just give the good vibrations.
You know, Keyon, I look at Black American music. I'm looking at guys that during our turbulent times, guys like Gil Scott-Heron, Bob Marley, Dr. Billy Taylor. I feel that some of our best work, some of our best music and art comes through turmoil. And I have a feeling that we got a lot of stuff getting ready to come out of you right now.
It's coming. It's coming. A lot of it's already been recorded. It's just a matter of time. It's coming.
about scoring. You being part of the Miles Davis movie and the music being produced and scored by Glasper, and now you scoring music. How has that changed you as a musician and as a composer?
You know what? I was having a conversation the other day with the great Ron Carter, legendary Ron Carter, and the legendary Ahmad Jamal. And it was amazing because they were talking about Miles Davis and what Miles Davis meant, and they were talking about the idea of space. People always say, you know what, Miles Davis is space. But not just space, because he could fill up all of that. It's the discipline to just know when to do stuff, know when to play and when to just lay out, or know when to allow other people to just take over. So that discipline and that mastery over music is something that we all have to learn. So for me, in the context of composition, you know, I could write a bunch of things, but how do you write, you know, exactly what's needed for the moment? How do you humble your thoughts to do the thing that, you know, the minimal thing that will get a point across? So that's always a process, because we always want to say too much, we always want to do too much, we always want to be too much. But how do you just be? So that's, you know, the development. That's where I am compositionally. That's where I am developmentally as a man. You know, how do I just be? How do I just exist as black people? That's the only thing we really want to be able to do, is just exist and not have any kind of, you know, stipulations. We just want to be able to just be and vibrate, and that be received, and, you know, that's what we want.
This band you have,
yeah,
Felder, you got Marcus Gilmore. I mean, it seems like now you guys, when I saw you about 3 years ago with this group, it's not how I envisioned how it's turning up now.
It's definitely evolved a lot.
Yeah. How has that happened? Do you think every musician, because they play with everybody else and you play with everybody else too, you think that every time you come back it's kind of like
it's home? I mean, it's you know, it's the idea of home. It's also the idea of people, you know, the way I write, especially for my band and for the music that I'm gonna play, it always leaves enough room for other people to interpret it how they interpret it. You know, I don't necessarily write something and you must play that, you must play that. I'm gonna give you this idea and I want you to run with it and bring, you know, your harmonic concept, bring your rhythm to it, bring your spirituality to it, bring your, you know, your love and your you know, your technicalities, bring it all to that whatever, you know, thing that I've come up, you know. So I really believe that my band is very collaborative. It's not a dictatorship. It's one that we're working together. I'll take the lead at some point, somebody else take the lead, and it's cool. You know, I'll set up the platform. I'll set up the infrastructure to improvise, and once that's set, go wherever you want, and we'll always end up at the right place.
Do you see more projects with this band?
Absolutely. We're always recording.
That'll do it again for another edition of the Patient Report, recording live here at the famous Blue Note Jazz Club here in New York City. I'd like to personally thank and congratulate the talented Keyon Harrold for his time. Make sure you look out for his upcoming project, which will be released later on this year, as well as continue to support Keyon and his son during this legal ordeal against the Arlo SoHo Hotel here in New York. For more information on supporting Keyon, please visit his website at KeyonHarrold.com. I'd like to personally thank the staff and management here at the Blue Note for their warm hospitality. Also, people, we need to get the likes, shares, and subscribes to the Patient Report here on YouTube and Vimeo up, as well as follow me online on social media, the Patient Report, Facebook, as well as Instagram, as well as my website, thepatientreport.com, for my weekly column, as well as my past segments. Until next time, remember, if it's in the groove, it'll make you move. Till next time, peace. Thank you.